You know what this video is going to be? This video is going to be propaganda that I'm not falling for anymore. I've been rambling at my camera for probably about 20 minutes, and I'm just whatever things are coming to my mind that I'm sick of and tired of and seeing in the book community. Let's talk about it. One thing that I've learned from being in the book community is just because people read doesn't mean that they critically think. I feel like rambling at my camera because I don't really talk about book community so much, totally taking that phrase from Jess Owens, whose channel is amazing and you should totally go follow. But I'm just like really, really tired. I'm really tired of thinking that I'm in a community of readers and that people are going to be having engaging and critical conversation in ways that are constructive. And yet somehow we keep having to backtrack because we have to explain the basics of reading to people who have shelves of read books behind them and are like, well, I mean, I read The Hunger Games, but that doesn't pertain to real life. And it's like, but bitch, what do you mean?
It could change the world.
Hello? You watch Star Wars and you rooted for who? Because who do you think is in charge right now? Watching the internet not use two brain cells, dos neuronas, to rub together to create a fire that is a thought is really exhausting. Like, I thought we were past this. I hoped that we were past the having to explain to people why diversity matters, right? Why like reading diversely matters, why having critical conversation matters, why words matter. And it doesn't, and I'm confused. I find myself confused most of the time. Many books, a good majority of books, and I'm just going to talk about fiction here. I'm not even going to touch nonfiction with a 10-foot pole right now. Fiction tends to draw inspiration and parallels from real life. And so if you take any book that's about revolution of any kind, you will be able to draw parallels to history. And the idea, many a time, is to learn from the experiences of the characters through their narrative. And when we see these things happening in real life, being able to recognize the signs of tyranny and being like, ooh, you know what? I see who's the empire, and not siding with them, right? That's the point. That's kind of like the point. Somehow it baffles me that people are not able to make that connection. And like, I get that it's privilege every time. It's a privilege to be able to read about social injustice, even if it's fictional, and turn your brain off. But you read it still. And exposure matters just as much as quantity of content. It's quality of exposure that we really need, because I cannot wrap my mind around that we are living in the year 2025, in which we are seeing some of the most expansive book bannings and anti-intellectual propaganda, the removal of entire library systems, and people in the book community don't know who the villains are. Do you guys know how much it costs for a library to be able to have books accessible? It is not a cheap thing. It is not a cheap thing by any means. Ebooks and audiobooks are actually very expensive for libraries because, one, they have to be able to have multiple copies. But when they purchase those digital copies, they are purchasing them for a certain amount of uses. And if it's a book that's really popular, after it's reached its limit of uses, let's say the book has it's able to be used 15 times, they have to repurchase it again So it's not like a physical book where you have that one copy and then it's in circulation for however long. These digital versions are tracked very differently. And so there's a lot of money that publishers are making on this, because I think that we need to really start picking up some bigger mantles other than the audiobooks are reading. Like, we get that. We're past that. We're beyond that. We're talking about the erasure of entire cultures. Okay. So let's actually focus our energy as people that consider ourselves well read and leaders in like literary spaces to actually promote the voices that need to be heard and that are intentionally being silenced by entire governments. I'm done reading books that are over 500 pages. Listen, if it is over 500 pages, if it's maybe 550, maybe 600, and it's written by a person of color, a woman, a trans author, a queer author, whatever, if it's an author that I know and I trust, then maybe I'll give it a chance. But I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of these long books where by the end of it, I'm like, where's the editor? Why are they in the trash? Why are they not here? Why did you kick them out? Bring them back. They're the MC of the party. Why aren't they in the room? I don't understand. Because we needed to cut 100 to 200 pages out of this. Y'all lost me way back. And I'm the one who is pulling myself up by the bootstraps to be like, can we get through this book? So I'm over it. I'm over authors that just don't know when to stop talking. That don't know when to stop talking. And I'm looking at you, older white men, with your books that are close to 1,000 pages. I'm done. Male authors who have written books that are over 1,000 pages. Why? It better have a good reason. And you won't see me picking those up anytime soon. Absolutely not. If for that to happen, it needs to come with a serious stamp of approval by a bestie, by a bookish bestie, or like someone on my feed who I actively follow for book reviews, suggestions. It needs to come from them, because I'm not doing it. Not falling for it, can't do it, can't be bothered. At that point, you should have just made it a duology. But whatever, choices were made. I'm not falling for the anti-intellectualism anymore. People want to come in my comments and whatever and be like, it's not that deep. I wasn't thinking that deep about it. Ugh, why everybody gotta ruin everything? Why? Listen, y'all want to walk around with blinders on in this economy? You know what? Do us all a favor and keep going about your business, because eventually you will fall off that cliff. And I'll be back here saying I told you so. Don't come in my comments and tell me it's not that deep. I'm not falling for the conversation anymore of, oh, well, if you haven't read the classics in this genre, then you're not well read enough to have a stance on blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't. Okay? We live in the future. You want to sit here and criticize people for not having read such and such classic, genre defining classics. There's so much media out there now that you can read anything and basically get the gist of what is derivative and what is not, based on patterns, based on what seems to be repeating conversation or literary devices and tropes and whatever in the things that you're reading in the media that you're consuming. So, like, no, you don't have to have read and enjoyed Lord of the Rings. You don't have to have read Dune in order to understand sci-fi. You don't have to do anything. Nothing. You don't have to do none of that. All right? Okay, cool. I'm not falling for the kink shaming. I'm not falling for the smut shaming. I'm not falling for the, oh, open door is better than closed door, whatever, back door, front door. I don't care. All right, whatever. I don't care. I know what I like, and I respect that other people have other things that they do like, right? Like, I love an open door romance. I love my adult romantic literature. And there are other people who don't like that, and I get it, and I'm not going to shame anybody for that, but I need people to get over it. I really do. We have entire towns without libraries. We got bigger fish to fry. I'm not falling for the Barnes and Nobles end tables anymore. I'm sick. I'm sick of seeing Sarah J. Maas. I'm sick of seeing the same white women over and over. You're not going to tell me that Barnes and Noble and all these other booksellers and publishers are not in the online book community and don't know about the drama and the tea behind the authors that they're promoting on their end tables. I'm not falling for that. Y'all know. Y'all just don't care. You just don't care. Okay. So when I can, I'm going to be buying from local indie bookstores and queer bookstores and places that I know openly support the things that I support financially, so that I know the money is going towards voices that I care about uplifting. But listen, if I'm shopping at Barnes and Noble, if I'm shopping at any of those places, guess what? I'm using all the coupons. I'm using all the discounts. I'm not buying a single thing at full price. Absolutely not. Y'all will not be getting full price out of me. That clearance rack has my name on it. I'm not falling for the multiple 50 bajillion special editions of ACOTAR, whatever. I don't care. Just because something is popular doesn't mean that it's good. I don't do this very often, but if you like content like this, consider subscribing and become a channel member to get access to all my book clubs, my discords, and get more content like this.
Mr. Wonka, work the factory.